Hello, welcome to my channel. I am Xavier of the Psychonics, and today we'll be running through two of Xavier's myths. We're going to be running through Shooting Stars and then Fading Night, but this first video is just going to be Shooting Stars, which is Xavier's Lightseeker myth. I have ran this before in January when Caleb released, and they allowed people to basically read any of the base game myths, and Shooting Stars was the one I was missing. So I experienced that for the first time, and ever since then I've not re-experienced it, I've not re-watched it. Everything I know of Shooting Stars is off the top of my head and basically my memory. But I have done and read all of Xavier's other content, not only the things I own, but watched the things that I don't own. So I'm very familiar with his character, but there might be some aspects that I could be missing, especially because I haven't had the opportunity to be able to reread his myths. But then we will be going into Fading Night, which is his Lumiere myth, which probably fleshes out a little bit more about Xavier's current character. I finally managed to get the second half of Shooting Stars when Xavier's new trailer dropped for his third myth, which looks incredible. I am so excited. I made a whole really swift theory thread on essentially what I interpret to be happening, as I think it could potentially be a Lightseeker sequel. But we will see, especially with a reread of Lightseeker, to see how this feeds in. And if it all does overlap, I will make another infographic just like I did for LSG, and we'll see how it goes from there. Again, I could be completely wrong. Again, I could have maybe some parts right. Maybe I was going in the wrong direction. We'll see soon enough. Now let's go into Shooting Stars. So the description says, when the wavy leaf sea lavender blooms, the traveler will return home. Now, wavy leaf sea lavender, we know is essentially meant to be forget-me-nots. This is like a mistranslation that's been irking a lot of people, rightfully so, because it doesn't even look like the same flower. But also the meaning of forget-me-nots is very important to Xavier's character as someone who does remember and has witnessed multiple MCs and her dying and her going through this toxic cycle for his planet. So let's get into it and experience Shooting Stars again. Our old tale is found in the annals of Phyllis' history. Wandering bards sing of it throughout the land. For hundreds of years, Phyllis' throne sat empty. Now the crownless queen of legends, foretold, regains her scepter. Phyllis is to be ushered in a new spring. In darkness does one claim a glimmer. The new queen shall bring the dying Phyllis a chance to regain its former light and glory. Already this feels like it's speaking to the idea of the third myth being a sequel, especially like for hundreds of years, ushered into a new spring, scepter, like, okay, I'm sorry. I'll stop. I sit on my cold throne. At the bottom of the steps is my grandest knight, Xavier. A queen's coronation ceremony should be a day of bliss, yet he chose today to bid me farewell. Are you not afraid the backtrackers suspect you betrayed them for a private audience?
They are aware. As a knight, it is my duty to attend to your majesty.
Oh, the distance between them is cruel. Are you truly leaving?
The spaceship is ready.
Your trip is one of danger and uncertainty.
Our safety is assured so long as your majesty doesn't call our steel into battle.
This gives the idea that he would be recalled, potentially. Your majesty, he addresses me with a cold indifference. Actually, Xavier hasn't addressed me with my name for years. And now, seeing him stand, I realize it's been some time since I've gotten a good look at him. You've already made up your mind. In that case, I rise from my throne and walk down the steps. I will tell the citizens. I stand before Xavier. The grandest knight perished in battle. I shall give him the Oh, this is so emotional to start off with. I shall give him the highest honor. He smiles at me.
Your majesty has my gratitude.
Oh, they are expecting him not to come back as well. This is really painful. We don't know how long it will take for him to come back. The wind sweeps into the room, the tassel with the star-shaped charm swaying on his sword. Nightfall obscures the tassel, but I've seen it in my mind's eye many a time. You still have that. Xavier's thumb brushes against the hilt of his sword.
Yes, I do.
I remember the first time I asked him about it, long ago. We were but students at Astria Knight Academy. Winter's snow melted, and wavy leaf sea lavender sprouted around a statue, the holy sword of the goddess. After hearing the Star Hunters returned from their space expedition, I rushed out of my dorm and sprinted down Astroscience Avenue to the monument. Students huddled in small groups listening to Vice Captain Jeremiah brag about his adventures. Jeremiah, where's Xavier?
Looking for our princely prefect, are you?
He checked his surroundings and scratched his head.
Strange. He was here earlier.
I turned to look at the looming clock tower. Oh, poor Jeremiah. I always do think of Jeremiah and his current relationship with MC, like, they were friends. I know where he is. Must be at his secret hiding spot again. I run to the clock tower, ignoring the shouts behind me.
Don't bother him. He's injured, near death's door, I'd say.
Also, the formal language really does reinforce the regality of the situation. Ah, my king! At the very pinnacle of the clock tower, Xavier sits on edge. Why didn't you tell me of your return? Planning to sulk in the shadows of a clock tower?
You still sought after me, even when I hadn't said a single word.
He didn't turn to face me, and his voice was surprisingly calm. I sat down next to him. I watched as he reattached a tassel with a star-shaped charm to the hilt of his sword. I must have been staring at it again.
What's wrong? Did someone tease you?
I looked away. Yes, you. Jeremiah said you were on death's door. I was somewhat concerned. But here you are, hale and whole.
I can be on death's door and you would only be somewhat worried. I see.
You're so cute. I won't even bother fretting over you next time. Xavier chuckled.
Well, I was worried you desired revenge. Only an arm and a leg would suffice.
If you are genuinely worried, then don't keep us in the dark. And you owe me. A month ago, we had a break from our studies in the winter. But once our attacks became more frequent on Phylos, all students were to report their whereabouts to the academy. Xavier was the only one who did no such thing. A day after our winter vacation started, he quietly boarded the spaceship for the Star Hunter expedition and disappeared into the starry sea. Shh, was all he said to me when I happened to meet him by chance prior to his departure. The academy and your family were relentless when they lost contact with you. I covered for you and worried about your safety. Sleep has evaded me ever since. The more I remembered, the greater my anger. Xavier continued to laugh.
You were quick to deflect any suspicions heading my way. Your next drink is my treat.
Is that it?
Would a piece of brown sugar cake satisfy you?
The gentle breeze passed us by, and his laugh only made me more upset. I decided to not forgive him just yet. 2 pieces.
All right.
And you have to eat them with me.
I'll spend a whole week having my meals with you.
You cannot tell me they are smitten with each other. I can't. Closing his eyes, Xavier lay down on the platform.
It is quite unlike you to stare at me without saying a word. Breeze is delightful. Won't you join me?
The cute star on his sword hilt from the third anecdote, MC. It's so painful. Your family visited the academy several times now. Something urgent might have occurred.
The Lightseekers will start their recruitment next month. Shouldn't you be training? They seek only one new face.
You always avoid talking about your family. Is there a reason? They say you have someone on your mind if you stare at an object for a long time. She doesn't know! Oh, this is so... Oh, going through this again is really painful.
As I've told you before, it's not what you think.
He has yet to tell me the story behind the sword tassel he always carried. This tassel is a living fossil. Your beloved must like vintage things.
Is that so? And may I ask what kind of tassel is popular nowadays with the townsfolk?
He's avoiding the important part. Simple, neat. Just like the one on our uniforms.
I never noticed. To be honest, your description matches this tassel.
They are different. Are your eyes not working? I'd rather...
And what were you about to say?
I'm heading to my class now. Now that you've returned, you're on your own when your family comes knocking.
Since your next few drinks are my treat, may I ask another favor?
Go ahead.
I'll tell you later. Go to class. We'll meet at noon tomorrow by the Holy Sword of the Goddess.
Are you asking to spar once more? They were so cute and innocent. She doesn't know. She doesn't know she's the planet's fuel. Oh, it hurts. Astrian Knight Academy is the oldest, most prestigious institution in Enphilos. Most of the planet's swordmasters and grandest knights studied and graduated from the academy. It was established to train knights for the Order of Lightseekers, who answer only to the royal family. The academy's 3 student houses specialize in various branches of swordsmanship. The Star Hunters specialize in the Strength style, Moonchasers specialize in the Supporto style, and the Rainbow Runners in the Defensor style. However, everyone regards one another with respect and is willing to work together. Yet, this year's students thought I, the Moonchaser Prefect, had an arch nemesis. In other words, I had a supposed rivalry with the Star Hunter Prefect, Xavier. The next day, noon, by the Holy Sword of the Goddess in the Academy Central Plaza...
Hurry, everyone! The Moonchaser and Star Hunter prefects are fighting again!
Why does a Moonchaser always pester His Highness Prince Xavier?
Our prefect is a student of the Grandest Knight. When swordsmanship's involved, it's hard to say who wins.
It's been quiet. Why are they fighting now?
The preliminary rounds to join the Lightseekers are about to start. Maybe they're settling who takes the spot?
Don't they have the same teacher? They should make better use of their time.
They probably despise each other.
That has to be it.
They must truly hate each other then.
They are so clueless. I stood amidst the ocean of people, holding the sword at my waist. Standing across from me was Xavier, unperturbed by the gossip.
My weak point will be revealed by your 30th move. Strike me down before my comet trail determines the outcome of our battle.
I couldn't help but sigh after glancing at those around me. Why do you always request a public beating when there's no excuse to not go home, Xavier? Everyone and their mother believe we hate each other. So fucking funny. I actually say everyone and their mother a lot as a saying, so I love her so bad.
We both attend the academy, and the Grandest Knight is our teacher. You are the only one who has a chance of winning against me. Losing to a stranger would be unheard of.
But this really reinforces that they are each other's equals, and even now in Lincoln Timeline, they're each other's partners.
This shall be our last duel.
You said the same words upon refusing to take the final exam for culinary arts. He does suck at cooking. The professor spent the entire afternoon scolding me for bullying my classmates.
I'm sorry.
Do you refuse to meet His Majesty? That's why you snuck out with the expedition team.
I wish he never was my father.
Oh, poor Xavier. Xavier lowered his head and caressed the sword hilt, his fingers touching the tassel. Oh, the royal family ties to her existence, all the pain. The star-shaped charm shone bright, almost blinding me. All right. However, this is the last time. I also have a request.
Go on.
I stared at the tassel for some time, then shifted my gaze elsewhere. With a flick of my wrist, I unsheathed my sword. I'll tell you when you lose. Let's get started.
So, what is to be your 30th move?
Don't go easy on me. I'll defeat you in less than 30. Later, when the royal messenger arrived at the academy with the guards, pushing away the crowd, they saw... His Highness Prince Xavier had challenged his classmate to another duel. They moved quick as lightning, sparks flying off their swords.
Another clash of steel. For what?
While the royal messenger knew little of swords, he noted the girl's strikes were fast and aggressive. His Highness was at a disadvantage.
Strange. His Highness was never a poor fighter.
Meanwhile, the crowd was swept up in the spectacle. How ruthless! They certainly are rivals. Upon a closer look, the royal messenger discovered something peculiar. Though the girl's offensive was good, her impatience prevented her from landing a decisive blow. His Highness simply stayed calm and was quick on his feet. He showed no signs of panic.
19. 20. 20 and a half. I parried it, so only half counts. Verily, less than 10 moves remain. Should I not go easy on you now?
What is he... Time to put an end to this.
The royal decree he brought today was related to the future of Phyllis.
Separate them.
The royal messenger gestured to the guards behind him. They immediately interrupted the duel. About to unleash a technique, the girl forced herself to stumble so she wouldn't hit the guards. Panic finally appeared on the prince's face. He rushed forward, putting himself in the path of the girl's sword.
Protect His Highness!
The guards did as they were told. The Academy's central plaza was plunged into chaos, onlookers screaming. I leaned against the holy sword of the goddess and rubbed my sprained ankle. Xavier was taken away by the royal messenger. Our duel ended with no clear winner. The crowd quickly left. I always think about this and I just really love the royal sci-fi fantasy academy AU. I love this concept so much. I wish this was a whole game on its own. Just the whole I generally don't really like high school or teenage stories or school stories that much anymore, but the whole concept of this academy, I love it so much. And obviously they are immortal beings, and he's obviously significantly older than a teenager at this point, so it's not a high school AU per se, but for an immortal society, their view upon age and maturity, and especially education, is going to be a bit different.
He went too far this time. It's unbelievable Prince Xavier would have the gall.
Jeremiah, my bestie!
Even if the position of Lightseeker is at stake, His Highness can't just ask servants to interrupt.
But he didn't. It wasn't his fault. It's not like that at all.
Still defending him? Don't forget.
Jeremiah paused, and suddenly put an arm around my shoulder.
I'm only saying this because we're friends. Rumors speak of ambassadors talking of an arranged marriage.
We know our MC is not about that. She is not happy to hear that. But also, Jeremiah is such a cute bestie. Look at him supporting her.
Attending the academy doesn't change how Xavier is of royal blood. The guards must be having a word or two with him about it. If you're desperate to ask him, you'll require more than luck. Do you need my help?
Jeremiah.
What are you two talking about?
Xavier? I immediately stood up. You had a rather short chat with the royal messenger. Xavier remained quiet. His gaze moved from my face to the arm around my shoulder to Jeremiah's pensive expression. The way these two don't actually F with each other. But in current timeline, they're obviously they're actual friends, but also somewhat reluctantly. I could sense the hostility.
Don't glare at me. Your Highness left her injured. Someone had to step up.
Jeremiah throwing shots.
She was drowning in a pool of tears because of your Highness's lack of mercy.
Jeremiah is exaggerating.
It's a shame your kindness was wasted.
Ooh, jealous Xavier! Xavier responded in a monotone voice as he pushed Jeremiah's arm off my shoulder.
I should provide succor for my junior.
I'm so sorry.
I was only acting out of the kindness of my heart.
The plaza was enormous, yet Xavier insisted on passing through between Jeremiah and me and dragged me away. Xavier!
Aid your junior instead of mine in her moments of distress if your heart is so full of compassion then.
Gagged. God, he's so attractive. I've been learning swordsmanship from my teacher for as long as I could remember. My teacher was one of the greatest swordmasters of Philos. He was also the Grand Knight of the Lightseeker Legion and one of the King's most trusted men. I'd known for a long time that I had a classmate named Xavier who was a prince of Philos, and whose swordsmanship was top-notch. But I didn't see him for many years. My teacher said it would be my duty to protect him in the future, because he would be the future king of Philos. My destiny was to become his bravest, staunchest, and trustiest Grand Knight. Later that day, Xavier gave me a piggyback ride to my teacher's house. Xavier, my legs can walk just fine.
Were you actually crying back there?
Jeremiah was saying nonsense. Do you actually believe him?
Let me check.
Xavier put me down and leaned in close.
Your eyes are red. If you weren't crying, then you've got to be sick.
I'm perfectly fine. His body blocked out much of the light. Cupping my cheek, he rested his thumb on my lower eyelid and stared at me. In which case, to my surprise, he blew air into my face. Xavier, you...
I spied a silhouette of a hooligan in your eyes.
He better be talking about himself.
Now all is well.
Hooligan? Do you mean Jeremiah?
To approach you for no reason, let alone touch you. How is he not one?
He cares so much about her respectability because he claimed her, but you can't explicitly do anything about it. You're the hooligan for suddenly making that weird expression. I tried to grab Xavier. He didn't move and instead dragged me with him to the carpet. Why didn't you dodge?
You'll be walking with a limp if you twist your ankle again.
Had I twisted your ankle, our teacher would never forgive us. He'd speak of...
The grandest knight is to be the king's steady blade. Where his majesty points, your sword must follow. In every waking moment, every dream can I recite those words.
Oh, is he not coming back today? I haven't studied this technique he showed me. I'll be dead if he asks.
He is with the other knights. He will be away for some time.
The teacher coming and walking in on them, like this, on the floor, on a carpet, the prince and his supposed to-be grandest knight. Hussy! Suspicious!
You're back already?
They are in such an, what's the word I'm looking for? Hold on. They are in such a compromising position, it's actually killing me. Congratulations on your flawless victory!
Who taught you two to formally greet your teacher while on the floor? Stand up.
Because of our teacher's success, the dinner was exceptionally lavish. After being on the battlefield for years, our teacher exuded an aura of intimidation, even when he removed his armor and sat at the table.
Has the Lightseeker's expedition been fruitful?
We were told in secret of a royal family member's disappearance. It's possible they are lost in the stars. We have our orders to find them. Were it not for this, our expedition would have been much better.
Is Xavier being called out?
Your Highness has traversed the starry sea in winter. Any insights?
I couldn't help but clench my fork. From what I know, From what I knew, the less our teacher spoke, the more grave the situation. Tonight's meal was destined to be unappetizing.
I should not have.
Across the table, Xavier was solemn, shoving a piece of roasted chicken into his mouth and chewing.
Philos is vast, and the Academy's expeditions scarce. I must accompany the Lightseekers next time.
Whether I take you with me is up for debate.
Knowing Xavier always avoided responsibility, he turned to me.
What happened to your foot?
Me? I was training.
Having worked so hard, who won today's duel?
We didn't fight.
I requested she.
Ugh, Xavier. Steve and I unwittingly interrupt each other. We realized we had been caught.
Well, this is the first time I've seen the king use a grandest knight to skip class. Since you enjoy the clashing of steel, a tie is not sufficient. Outside, the both of you. Another 1,000 strikes. Don't come back until a winner has been decided.
Yes, sir. Steve and I looked at each other reluctantly, set down our cutlery, and stood up from the table. Before we could move, however, there was a sigh.
Eat your fill before you depart.
Yay! Food. The holy sword of the goddess stood tall in the night. Two swords sang, their colliding sparks like brilliant starlight. Xavier stepped back, steadying himself. Prince Xavier has tasted defeat again.
In spectacular fashion, you have tasted victory again.
I caught my breath, rubbed my tired arms, and raised my sword. So she's unaware that he is not necessarily letting her win, but he's not going as completely all out. Once more.
Are you determined to do 1,000 strikes? You fulfill every request our teacher makes.
I also fulfill the request of your highness. How would I have sprained my ankle otherwise?
Well, as your prince, I'm commanding you to sit down and rest.
With his chin, he gestured to my hand, still holding the sword.
Tend to your bloody hands.
He really put her first. Under the holy sword of the goddess, Xavier and I sat near each other. Taking my hand, he poured medicine over my bloodied palm. Ouch! You used too much. It hurts.
And yet, with remarkable determination, you didn't appear to be in pain.
It's great to be punished by our teacher and then reprimanded by the prince. Xavier carefully bandaged my wounded palm. I gazed at the tall statue behind me. I understand our teacher's reasoning. This monument was forged from the swords belonging to the previous grandest knights. I was to be reminded that, wherever His Majesty points, a knight's sword must follow.
You are no knight.
It's only a matter of time before I am. Hugging my knees, I enjoyed the sight of Xavier being focused on tending to my wounds. Why did His Majesty send the royal messenger here?
They're requesting I return, like always. The royal messenger said the preparations for the titleist ceremony are underway.
The titleist ceremony? So suddenly? As the only prince of Philos, Xavier had to participate in the royal family's numerous ceremonies. Not a single one could be skipped when he was to wear the crown. The statue was covered in ivy. Fireflies flew out from under the leaves. Specks of light illuminated Xavier's face, yet his eyes only dimmed for a moment.
He might not make it this time.
He is in Xavier's father, the king of Philos. Xavier's relationship with His Majesty was a subject of taboo. Will you depart immediately? Xavier shook his head.
I refuse to forget that incident.
He's not saying the incident. Xavier never told me what happened. I could only surmise a vague idea based on the bits and pieces from our conversations. If I'm correct, this incident occurred around the Gladius ceremony. It was a tradition passed down from a generation to generation. Only those who wielded the light blade could prove themselves worthy to ascend to the throne. The trial was known as the Gladius ceremony. To the south was Starfall Forest, and a wanderer made its nest there. Xavier was to enter the forest and kill the wanderer himself. It was present on the day everyone went to see the prince off. Starfall Forest was a desolate place with an unstable protofield. At night, heavy fog enshrouded the trees. Their leaves rustled in the wind to the shrieks of mysterious birds. When Xavier entered Starfall Forest, all became quiet. The forest was a wanderer, quietly observing its prey. Everyone waited at the outskirts, wondering if the prince would return. Day after day, the forest remained silent. They thought the wanderer devoured the prince and left one after another. I was the only one still waiting for him. Xavier would always leave me like this. At times he joined the expedition team. Other times he was returning to the palace with the royal messenger. I'd always ask when he could return. He always returned within the time frame given to me. Before the prince entered the forest, everyone was praying for his safety. At that time, Xavier whispered into my ear, 7 days. After 7 days passed, it was a moonless night. I was the only one still waiting for him. Before dawn broke, a faint light appeared in the forest. It got brighter, then turned into a white figure. Xavier emerged. The light blade dissipated into countless specks of light. He approached me, the wondrous protocol in his hand. There was no joy or relief to be seen. Keeping his head lowered, Xavier silently hugged me. Okay, so obviously this is giving Arthur Merlin vibes, like him being the chosen one to be able to get the sword and whatnot. But like, they do have this intimate relationship. They do have this, like, they're edging on something more, but they're not allowing themselves to delve into it. And I think that's just what makes this entire dynamic even more painful, because they're explicitly not allowing themselves to go there. What he encountered or saw in those 7 days is shrouded in mystery. Killing a wanderer should be celebrated, but Xavier had changed ever since. As if part of him was left behind in Starfall Forest. Amidst glowing fireflies by the statue, Xavier lowered his eyes.
I can't become the man he wants. I will never sit on the throne he leaves behind either.
Xavier and I were walking different paths. It'd be foolish of me to say I understood him. I could only hold his hand. If you are the next king, I promise to stay by your side.
The thought is pleasant to hear, yet...
Xavier smiled and looked at me.
Are you resolved? Is it your wish to be the king's sword?
Yes.
And if I don't wear the crown?
What? Xavier and His Majesty may have fought, but I never thought about the possibility of someone else becoming king. Then I'll be someone else's knight. I'll have to swear an oath of fealty, become the grandest knight, follow him to the ends of the world, look only at him, wield a sword in his name. And he won't be Xavier. I never imagined such a thing could even occur.
I don't want you to become another's knight. I also won't let you be at another's side.
Oh, he wants her to himself. Xavier.
I can choose not to become king. You can choose not to join the Lightseekers who answer only to the royal family.
Huh? His notions were beyond me, yet he stated it in a rather aloof manner.
Philos is boundless. We are able to do all sorts of things. Why do you need to follow someone else's orders? To become a grandest knight?
Our teacher said this is how I should live. What else is there for me?
I'll take you to Uluru.
Uluru?
On my last expedition, I found a newborn planet. I named it. No wanderers or people were observed. Only flowers.
I just want to say, doing this after finally hitting 100 affinity, so I married Xavier in the game, but also the Witness by Deepspace card. In a way, Xavier's wish gets fulfilled in the far future, but I just feel so bad for this Xavier MC. Obviously same Xavier, but this MC. My heart hurts for her so much.
In a mere glance, a person can see every planet in the universe. Blue ones, red ones, pink ones.
Didn't they say Phylos is slowly dying? How can there be new planets? Also, this kind of suggests a bit more on the Chinese version where they speak of Phylos as a galaxy. So in my personal interpretation and the way I kind of see it, Phylos is a planet. Phylos is obviously future Earth, as said by Xavier's third anecdote. But also, when they talk about Phylos in both Hiya as well as Abyss Walker Myth, it is essentially a continuation of everything that's happening on Earth. Earth is Phylos. But Phylos can also be a galaxy. So that also changes how it works in a planetary way. But also, after Death and Rebirth, they speak of MC essentially being able to perceive the fate again and again of a planet, but then again it could be multiple planets, but also there's various timelines, there's various universes. That's what the deep space tunnels allows us to perceive. And that's why Xavier's position as someone who does go across space and time allows him to kind of traverse those aspects. Xavier lowered his head. The fireflies landed, the wavy leaf sea lavender petals, but also new planets emerging. It isn't surprising if she's the fuel for the universe, the galaxy, the planets, for her to potentially be used again to save the situation. But we don't know what's necessarily happening in the very deep universe.
With spring's arrival, hope is soon to follow.
Spring. What is spring like on other planets?
I recorded that planet's coordinates. Once I've settled my personal affairs. And if you ever surrender your wish to be a Grandis Knight, let's elope. We'll spend the rest of our days in Uluru.
She's too dutiful and he knows that. At least they got to semi-elope and the witness where Deepspace were no called. I fell asleep while leaning against Xavier. When I woke up in my bedroom the next day, it was almost noon. I checked to see if Xavier was awake. As I neared his room, the door was open. Fully dressed, he was already standing in front of the mirror. Xavier, why are you... in her room? Wait, pause. So their living quarters are near each other because she's able to go from her room to his room. And the familiarity to just enter his room. I think it's obviously because they're training under the same master. Merlin vibes. But, like, so that's probably why, but like, that's crazy. That's crazy. I approached him. His garb was for meeting with His Majesty. Are you planning to return to the palace?
I cannot run away forever. I shall personally visit him this time.
You shouldn't go if you are unwilling. Xavier stayed quiet. He picked up his sword by the mirror. My heart sank as I noticed the tassel. Who knows when we'll see each other again? I mentioned having a request before our duel. May I ask a question?
You can ask 10 if it pleases you.
I tried to cheer myself up and... Who gave you the tassel? Oh, she doesn't know! She doesn't know it's her! Who gave you that tassel with the star-shaped charm? Your lover? Xavier looked at me for a moment. He suddenly smiled. He knows she has feelings for him. Like, he knows! But he's just like... He has them back. But he's like, I can't fully give in to this.
At long last, the time has come. Yes, it's from the person I like.
Oh, this must be soul crushing to her. I knew it to be true, yet I felt uneasy. He confessed it so easily. Then, is she truly someone you like?
Yes.
Are you very fond of her?
Unlike any other, her brilliance holds a special place in my heart.
She doesn't know! I clenched the hem of my coat. The regret of having asked such a question was tangible. You fancy her?
She deserted me years ago. I've sought after her ever since.
For such a reason you accompany the expedition team? To seek her out?
No. Not at all.
Do you keep the tassel to remember her?
I've never forgotten her. She was the one who forgot me.
The forget-me-nots! Oh! Oh, this hurts. How could she? Despite this being a sad matter, Xavier wasn't in the least bit upset for some reason.
We've crossed paths, but she has no memory of me. She can't even recall the time she gifted me this tassel. There's a certain expression she uses whenever we meet.
As he spoke, he glanced at me, seemingly dissatisfied.
It is one of blissful ignorance and wonder.
How dare she? Seeing Xavier like this, I pitied him. I no longer regretted asking. I could only feel indignation for what he's suffered through. Xavier, I need to tell you something.
What is it?
I gritted my teeth, deciding to be honest with him. You should give up on her.
Why?
She doesn't even remember you. Leave her and find your own happiness. Many girls admire you at the academy. The Moonchasers have Lilia, Joanna. We also have Sarah from the Star Hunters. They're all lovely ladies. She's saying this as if she doesn't want to keep him for herself.
I see. Do you want me to pursue someone else? Chasing another skirt?
Xavier took a step toward me.
Is there anyone else you'd recommend?
The staff at the dining hall. The young miss at the bakery. Xavier took another step.
Is that it?
Are they not enough? I had no choice but to sit on the bed. Xavier leaned down, his hand resting near me. Oh! He makes me feel so girly. Yeah, he makes me feel so girly.
They are wonderful, but I don't like them.
It's no use then. I sheepishly avoid his gaze, looking elsewhere. How was she blind to the physicality he's giving her that clearly he's into her? I heard Jeremiah say your betrothed had been selected. Have you met her?
I don't know.
But Jeremiah also said, so if you close the distance between us, he was a breath away, our noses almost touching.
Do you fancy Jeremiah?
How is she this, like, just ignorant? Like, it's like, I thought this the first time, I'm like, how are you so ignorant to how he feels about you? Huh?
You always speak highly of him. If he's your suitor, I'll pay him a visit before I leave.
For what reason?
He and I should have a discussion.
It didn't seem like he wanted afternoon tea, but a duel. I tried to hold Xavier back. Don't you dare! I asked him to inform me of the rumors.
You are concerned about him.
Are we taking it the wrong way? He's not a bad person. He's foolish and always needs my help. Of course I'd be concerned if...
So you fancy fools who request your aid?
Wait, where are you getting fancy? What makes you say that? Xavier narrowed his eyes and sat down next to me on the bed. While I was perplexed, he took off his brooch.
Put this on for me?
You were wearing it seconds ago.
I believe it was crooked. I'm not capable of putting it on properly by myself. I need your assistance.
Don't move. I took the brooch and moved closer to Xavier.
Is it on?
Yes. Having spent a lot of time with Xavier, this was the closest I had ever gotten to him. Maybe the brooch's clasp was designed to be tight. I was nervous.
You can't put it on either.
You and I aren't the same. What if your betrothed dislikes your inability to wear your own brooch?
My betrothed could be as much a fool as I am. She'll be incapable of putting on a brooch for me.
Oh, he wants her. I accidentally pricked my finger.
She could even prick her finger in the attempt.
Xavier, his hand in a white glove, gently held my finger.
Why are you and injuries always a pair?
He's literally laying it out for her. She's so stupid. You should ask yourself. The bleeding stopped. I quickly took back my hand and stood up, pretending nothing happened. The palace's halls are too troublesome. I'm better off as a knight. In a few days, you'll officially be the crown prince, and eventually king. I have to work hard. If I join the Lightseekers next month, I'll be a true knight. I will protect you.
Is that so? Are you sending me a gift if I take the throne?
I thought about it. Can I also give you a little star?
A little star?
I poked the hilt of Xavier's sword. I think your tassel was ruined during our... Oh, she's petty. I think your tassel was ruined during our duel yesterday. I'll buy you a new one. Fair?
I want it handmade.
Before I could respond, Xavier stood up and attached the sword to his waist.
I must take my leave.
Already?
I should already be at the palace, but someone overslept. There was a delay.
He was waiting for her. Oh. Your cape. Xavier stood at the door and looked back, his silhouette basking in the soft afternoon light. I met Xavier's gaze. It dawned on me that this person, the Prince of Phylos and future Crown Prince, he would be the one I would swear to protect, forever. I handed him the cape. When will you return? Should I even be asking? He put on the cape and smiled. He always did that. Aww, he always did whenever he would leave.
I'll return when you wish to see me.
What if I always wish to see you?
God. They're so cute and they have so much chemistry, but they're so oblivious. After Xavier left, I didn't see him again. The ceremony to bestow him the title of Crown Prince wasn't held. Xavier never returned to the academy either. No one told me why. My teacher refused to speak of him. 1 month after Xavier left me, I passed the exam to join the Order of Lightseekers. It was my first step in becoming the Grandest Knight. I was walking the path my teacher told me to follow. Time passed, and the king passed away. There was to be a mourning period of 200 years before his successor took the throne. Year after year, fewer people of Phylos cared about whether someone would be king. And in those 200 years, no one spoke of the ceremony to bestow the title of Crown Prince. He left her for 200 years! She has every right to be mad at him. I didn't stray off the path I had chosen. Step by step, I became commander of an elite squad. However, we had no king. The authority of the knights was weakened as different squads were scattered all over Phylos. Each kept to themselves and lost contact with one another. During that time, I simply marched on and swung my sword. I didn't know where I was headed. I just kept thinking if Xavier ever returned one day. If he became the king of Phylos. I want to be the one by his side. Years later. In the depths of a forest, I was leading my squad in a fight against the Wanderers for several days. Everyone was exhausted from the endless sporadic battles. At night, I sat alone in the forest clearing, planning our next move.
Starfall Forest was always home to an unstable protofield. Not a single person made it out alive these past few months. I doubt we can take down the beast.
You're ruining the mood. If the best knights in the Order of the Lightseekers can't defeat it, no one can.
Xavier's Gladius ceremony took place here. Always brooding over that. Your persistence is... No. Could it be?
Nonsense. After we graduated, Jeremiah became a Lightseeker. He was one of the best knights under my leadership. And in these past 200 years, he was the only person I could talk to about Xavier. I wonder what happened to Xavier. But I won't sacrifice everyone for that curiosity. Jeremiah sighed.
With the death of His Majesty, your teacher went on an expedition into the Starry Sea. The Lightseekers are supposed to serve the Crown Prince. But that bastard Xavier...
This is one of the times they actually have swearing in the game. So the fact that, like, Jeremiah can say bastard, but no one else can say the F-bomb. I haven't heard the B-I-T word. I haven't heard just like freaking, I don't know, like I remember this one part, like Raphael says but instead of ass. Just say ass. Like, but sorry, I'm going on a tangent.
We're all scattered to the wind. Who knows how many already abandoned knighthood? If things turned out differently, we wouldn't be in this mess.
Stop whining. We should rest while we can. Ramaya patted my shoulder before going back to the others. The trees had grown for centuries. Their canopies blocked out even moonlight. As the fire went out, there was no light. Everyone soon drifted off to sleep. The birds ceased their serenades for the time being. I didn't fall asleep. Not when a white figure appeared in the depths of the forest. In spite of the darkness, it was cloaked in a soft light. Our gazes met before it walked away. Can't be. Xavier? Xavier! I chased after him. His movement wasn't too quick, but he wouldn't let me catch up to him. In the depths of my heart, I knew it might just be an illusion, but what if it actually was Xavier? Xavier, wait! In a moment of exhaustion, I blinked, and the figure disappeared. The Starfall Forest does consume people and does commit hallucinations. The forest also vanquished. I was in the center of a galaxy, its expanse unyielding. It was an illusion. I could hear my heart pounding and started to fall in the waves of stardust. Damn it! Everything was turned upside down. As the fire became weightless, I fell at the speed of light, down, down, down into the nebula. What is this place? I was a stone descending into a lake. Billions of stars vanished, escaping my gaze. There was only darkness. Am I still in the forest? Embraced in darkness, time and space dissolved into nothingness. Whether I opened my eyes or not, it mattered not. The line between life and death blurred. Did I die? Death was so quiet, weightless. I'm a feather, floating in the starry sea. I didn't need to be afraid of dying. This aligns with her being the cosmos. Still, my only regret was I wasn't able to see Xavier one more time.
It's you, isn't it?
That voice. It sounds familiar.
Answer me. Where are you?
I'm so tired. I lack the energy to open my mouth.
Hey!
Before I could sink into my dreams, a blinding light stung my eyes. He did say he would return when she wants to see him. A beam of light. It was like watching the universe be created. Light split the darkness and swirled. From light everlasting, the world unfolded. I opened my eyes, unsure if this was still an illusion.
Don't fall asleep. Please, wake up.
In the fathomless bright world, I saw Xavier's face again.
You can't fall asleep. Let's go home. Together.
He saved her. God, this is really painful. Okay. It was like a dream. Xavier returned to me. He was also a Lightseeker. After rescuing me from the dark, swirling cosmic vortex, Xavier took me to his base camp. On the other side of Starfall Forest. He was always nearby, whenever I was in danger. Strictly speaking, Xavier's squad was not official. Each of the knights wore a different badge. They most likely belonged to various groups in the Order of Lightseekers prior. I knew nothing of their experience or beliefs, which made them join Xavier.
To think you were actually here. We all thought you went missing.
Jeremiah still spoke his mind, just like back in the academy.
I've been investigating the forest for the past few years.
200 years?
It's always infested with wanderers. There's something afoot. The Lightseekers hunted down wanderers in this area, only for the beast to be reborn. What a waste of time. I figured we attack the problem at its source. We'll be done with it once and for all.
A command center had been set up using various equipment. Xavier stood in front of a virtual map, calmly explaining his discoveries over the years to Jeremiah and me. His voice was monotone yet firm. I watched Xavier walk to and fro before the big screen. He seemed like his same old self, but also not.
Still in a daze? Or are you going to rest like everyone else?
Xavier walked up to me. It was only then I noticed the other knights left. Oh, I'm still recovering from that illusion.
Truly?
Xavier handed me a jug of water.
They say you have someone on your mind if you stare at an object for a long time.
Those words were associated with memories from the distant past. I had to think about them before feeling a sense of familiarity with Xavier again. Leaning against the equipment, I took the jug and smiled. The years passed. I could have fallen in love with someone.
Good.
Aren't you going to ask who it is?
It matters not. I'm happy for you.
Knowing how possessive he is, this is so painful.
Having someone in your heart gives you the hope to press on.
I couldn't help but look at the hilt of his sword. The tassel was still there, but the star-shaped charm lost most of its original color. Only the string seemed to be new. You cherish that tassel.
I do.
Do you recall?
You haven't seen our modified spaceship. It's not far from here. Follow me.
She still owes him a tassel. Staying in the camp, I noticed Xavier was always busy. He was either scouting the forest or secluded in his spaceship for a whole day. I had a lot of questions. Why wasn't there a ceremony when he returned to the palace? How did he join the Lightseekers? What was he doing all this time? He always took the conversation in another direction. Not only that, he avoided spending time with me. I was even more suspicious. He must be keeping something from me.
Are you sure?
I am. I'm counting on you to find out the truth from Xavier. Don't overdo it.
Understood. At least I can help you after all these years.
Bestie. Xavier had just returned from the forest. I quickly lay down next to the equipment.
Hey! Hey! What's wrong? Having another fit again?
We caught Xavier's attention.
What happened to her?
I haven't the slightest idea. Her condition only worsened ever since she escaped the illusion. We weren't able to tell you until now.
As I expected, Xavier's expression became grave.
Does it involve her heart?
Not him linking. Oh, that third anecdote haunts Lightseeker's narrative. Yes, it hurts so much. Like I'm being stabbed. She doesn't realize how this could actually be hurting him. Like, oh, some weird energy must have, if we find the cause.
I swear on my honor that she was crying.
Do you have no honor? Before I could complain about Jeremiah's poor acting, Xavier turned on his head. Sorry. It's so hard for me to take this seriously because they're acting so immature that they're so old. Before I could complain about Jeremiah's poor acting, Xavier turned on his headset, then picked me up.
Are you still in the spaceship? I need to borrow it. Put Operation Backtrack on hold for now. Yes, at this very moment.
Huh? No! The situation is getting out of control. I hurriedly stopped him. It's fine, Xavier. You don't need to use the spaceship. Xavier was still suspicious. I quickly stood on the ground and jumped up and down 2 times. Everything is working.
You lied to me?
I had no choice, because you wouldn't tell me anything, even when I've been here for a while. Xavier unexpectedly wasn't upset. After he was assured I was fine, he ruffled my hair.
As long as you're healthy.
But his reaction gave me some clues. Why were you anxious? What did you discover? Does it affect someone's heart?
It's all speculation. Hence why I didn't tell you.
Xavier seemed to trust me. He turned to look in the direction of where I saw that white figure.
It's not just a person's heart. This concerns the entire planet. We found out the secret Philos has been hiding.
It's not a good one. And this is where it just starts going more and more downhill. And this is why he's so distant. Oh, the throne room. Either it's the truth or Xavier's guess. In the center of Starfall Forest, which had an unstable proto-fjord, was the heart of Philos. But it was hollow. Philos was made by mortal hands. It shouldn't have existed. And the core's energy had long been exhausted. The only way to keep the planet from dying was to fill its heart with energy. Philos was a planet where almost everyone lived eternal. Thus, humans were the most abundant resource that yielded much energy. Almost everyone who set foot here became the planet's food. Wanderers were a side effect born from the abnormal phenomenon. Xavier was aware of this during his Gladius ceremony. The Gladius ceremony 200 years ago. The prince returned from the forest. The light blade belonged to him, as well as the Wanderer's protocol.
Well done.
His Highness presented the protocol to his father.
Shouldn't the protocol warrant a formal inspection?
The Lightblade deemed you worthy.
Is there no need for formalities, or are you unwilling? A heart was once in this protocol. Am I mistaken?
I knew you'd catch on. However, it is a necessary duty of the Crown Prince. It is also the King's responsibility.
The prince placed the red protocol in his father's hand. He made sure his father tightly held onto it.
In another eon, this heart beat only for you. I will return it. No matter her likeness, this heart belongs to you and you alone.
The prince then bowed and left.
Xavier! Listen to me. A king cannot act on his emotions, or only protect the people he holds dear. Your duty is to protect Philos. You must only do what is necessary.
The wanderer you killed wasn't a wanderer. I finally understood why Xavier and His Majesty fought.
Civilians and knights were not the only ones swallowed by this gaping maw. In exchange for the planet's longevity, the royal family occasionally sent in humans. Wanderers would be born as a result. A knight's glory, honor. There is nothing. And even if there were, they are long dead and gone. The Order of Lightseekers has always kept the truth in the shadows. For the royal family's sake, no one was to be told of people becoming food.
Huh.
Upon my return to the palace, I learned they stopped sending people to Philos' heart.
Is that not a good thing? No one has to die.
They found the perfect sacrifice. She can die and be reborn without end. In their eyes, she was the planet's very life force, for only she had achieved true immortality. The royal family believed if they sent her into the planet's heart when the time was right, their problems would be solved. No one asked how she felt, or whether she was willing to sacrifice herself.
What's interesting is, third anecdote MC had a heart condition, and then she ended up dying in Starfall Forest, right? When they were both like basically teenagers. It was like high school time. And I'm still under the assumption that's the first time they both met. But what he's saying right now to me spells out that he might have actually met multiple, and I've always kind of felt this way, that he might have actually met multiple other MCs between third anecdote MC and current MC. But he's saying that he made this discovery after his Gladius festival. His Gladius ceremony. But again, if she's being sacrificed time and time again, there might be versions of her that he just didn't know during that period, like between that gap of time that were sacrificed until this version.
They also care little about her being left in a hole to die and be reborn again and again. Her duty was to save Philos because her existence works in such a manner. It was the justification for not holding a ceremony. How could I wear the crown when it means coating my hands in her blood?
And this just shows MC how disillusioned she is. After that, Xavier and I never talked about it again. The refurbishing of the expedition spaceship was nearing completion. The backtracking operation that Xavier had mentioned was also about to officially begin. Jeremiah was intrigued by this bold plan and had long joined Xavier's side. Yet none of them would divulge any specific details of the plan. Silvercord.
Silvercord is the closest town to our camp's location. They have a festival every 6 months. We'll be able to buy supplies for the trip.
Perhaps it was because of the forest protofield that every family who lived in Silvercord grew strange, beautiful plants. All sorts of goods were on the market. They spilled out from the shops to the streets outside. I figured you'd leave His Majesty behind along with the other nobles, but you're leaving Pylos.
Our trip is an experiment through time and space. Nothing is being left behind. If we are to save Philos, we cannot do it in this era.
Time travel is dangerous. Where will you go?
We selected a specific coordinate in the space-time continuum. The short test trips yielded fruitful results. Our success rate is high.
I knew I couldn't stop Xavier. I looked in the direction of the flutes and harps. By the square's fountain, children were playing with a wandering bard.
It's Zeze. Do you have any candy today, Zeze?
They surround Xavier. Xavier knelt down.
None, I'm afraid.
You said you'd bring some last time. You don't tell lies.
Xavier is a liar. Xavier searched his body, then took off his brooch.
Won't you take this instead?
The children ran away happily with the shiny accessory. The brooch proves you're a member of the royal family.
It's but a toy to them. They would rather take candy over a bauble.
We sat down by the fountain. The bard sang of an ancient Philosian legend about the royal family to the tune of melodious instruments. The Wanderers continue to appear for 200 years with no king or order of Lightseekers. What can Philos do?
I'm not the only person who could sit on the throne.
Do you still remember our conversation at the academy? You said you wouldn't let me be another's knight, or let me stand by someone else's side.
Are people not childish at times?
What about her? Have you given up? Xavier wasn't carrying his sword today, but he knew I was referring to the girl who gave him the tassel. A rare instance of nostalgia appeared on his face.
I cannot. She's my purpose, my guiding starlight.
He's saying it to her. From those mere words, I understood everything. The person who can die and be reborn. It's her, is it not?
Yes.
His deeds were all for her. He was looking for her, always thinking about her, even when she had forgotten him. Yet she influenced his life and every choice he made. Giving up someone you love for the planet, or saving the planet for the one you love. Which was more noble, more heartbreaking? Sorry. There's been this thing. I'm like, oh my god, calm down. Okay. There's this thing of when I've been playing a lot of Xavier content, I get really teary-eyed. Because I think about how lonely he must be, and what his duty must have been like. And how mentally strong and wise he is to be able to just fully see a situation and decide to defy things to such a degree. And obviously all of the love interests do kind of do that in their own way. But again, like, I'm allowed, like... But again, for Xavier, he literally just going against this to a degree, condemning his planet. He understands why his people are the way they are, but he also condemns the way it is. He doesn't want that to be the pattern, and He would rather give up the planet for her, so she doesn't have to go through that kind of endless cycle of pain. But he also knows how dutiful this current MC is, like in this specific myth. And she would. Because she is that dutiful, she is that considerate, she is someone to prioritize others like that. But I truly understood the tassel's value to Xavier now. I knew what I had to do. Leaving Philos to save someone you love. I'd do the same. There are people important to me here. My comrades in the Lightseekers, former classmates, friends, our teacher, and under Xavier's gaze, you remained a word stuck in my throat. I looked away. Children. They also have people important to them. I can't leave Philos. I will stay behind to protect everything here. The bard's song about Philos was at its end. In these final days, the universe nearing its demise, the noblest king shall be born in the darkness. This ties, I feel like, to their third myth. As the true savior of Philos, he shall lead us unto the light, unto true immortality. Conviction in my heart, I looked at Xavier. We were about to walk separate paths. I couldn't tell what Xavier was thinking, but he simply turned to the bard.
The king in the legend, who leads Philos into an age of light and immortality. The wearer of the crown will instead be queen.
Huh?
Facing every challenge, she never gives up, even in the darkest of hours. Having a leader doesn't matter. She is still the bravest knight in all of Philos. Under her, the scattered Lightseekers will band together and find true glory.
The bard understood his words, leaving to sing a new melody. Through song, a bard would spread the legend far and wide. The legend of Philos' queen would sweep across the planet like the spring breeze, sowing seeds from the mountains to the churning rivers. Just as the arrival of spring after snow melts, everyone would celebrate the joyous occasion. After 200 years of silence, the planet would finally greet the light of a new hope.
The spaceship will depart tomorrow.
I thought about it and took off the star-shaped badge representing my knighthood. I gave it to Xavier. While I can't accompany you myself, my heart will.
Is this the little star your majesty promised me years ago?
No. The tassel is important to you. Pretend I didn't say anything back then.
Your majesty doesn't need to do that. Allow me to divulge a secret.
Xavier took the star-shaped badge.
Only one person has given me a little star.
Unsure of what Xavier meant, I touched my ears, which had turned red. I'll return to the capital now. He's literally telling her it's always been her. She is the one who gave him the first star. She is the one he's doing all of this for, but, you know, she's just not making that connection.
Lightseeker recruitment will start again. Your majesty should visit the current candidates.
What about you? When will you return? The setting sun dyed Xavier's face gold.
The day that song becomes a reality. When we meet again, I shall be your majesty's knight.
Oh. And then we go into the final part. Okay, we're going to part 9. At coronation, the Queen and her grandest knight should receive the people's blessing. Yet my knight is before my eyes, refusing to stand next to me. Many things have changed since we left Silvercord. It's hard to remember the details. From knight to princess, my arduous journey brought me here. Xavier and his backtrackers have long since left the Lightseekers. They are regarded as traitors. Once our paths diverge, it will be difficult to see each other. You, of all people, must know the price Philos will pay. Ooh. You, of all people, must know the price Philos will have to pay should you fail. The goal of the backtrackers isn't what you told me those years ago, is it? Xavier lowers his head and clenches the hilt of his sword. Only then do I notice the charm on the tassel has been replaced with the badge I gave him. I don't know what made him replace it. but there's no point in asking.
Our teacher once said, wherever a ruler points, a knight's sword must follow. I remember.
He gives me a look I can't tear my eyes away from. The depths of his gaze are unfathomable.
Though your majesty may think otherwise, I haven't changed.
He takes my hand and kisses the back.
May Philos prosper under eternity's divine gaze.
Reinforcing she's eternity. Oh. When Xavier leaves, much time passes before I come to my senses and walk to the balcony. I see the cheering crowd, but I am unable to find him. Maybe he's already gone. Far, far away. I recall the night he brought me out of the forest. His light blade tore through the darkness, illuminating my world like a shooting star. A reality amidst illusions. My star. Awoken from a daze, a familiar person sits next to me. It were as if he never left.
You're awake. How are you feeling? Are you hurt?
The warmth of Xavier's breath is palpable, yet I struggle to grasp the veracity before me. Xavier. Overwhelmed, I cannot help but reach out my hand toward him.
You're not dreaming. It's me. I came back. Our teacher always said an honorable knight shouldn't fall victim to an ambush. And an honorable knight should never disappear without a word either. Yes, it's my fault. You may hit me a few times if it would help you to feel better. Can you stand? Steady. I can carry you if you can't walk. And even if you could, I wouldn't mind carrying you.
He rescues me from the darkness. With every step he takes, accompanied by the gentle chirps of insects and the wavy leaf sea lavenders, forget-me-nots, emitting a soft, ethereal glow. The flowers at the academy should be in bloom. Too bad there are no fireflies.
Fireflies, just for you.
You made those specks of light. They aren't fireflies. You can't lie to me. What are you looking at?
It's nothing.
Shooting star?
I happened to catch a shooting star.
Oh, this really shouldn't hurt as bad as it does. Shooting star. Do you still remember Uluru, Xavier?
Yes, of course I do. Our little planet.
Do you think Uluru will turn into a shooting star?
Unlikely. It's only 200 years old. It's a very young planet. However, Uluru's flowers should be blooming.
Wanderers are a serious threat. Sooner or later, they'll arrive in Uluru. It will become another Phylos. I'm tired, Xavier. What if I can't brandish my sword one day? What then?
You rest. I'll be by your side, always. If you have nowhere to go, nowhere to rest your weary self, you can stay with me.
You always lie. He always has. He's always lied. Again and again and again and again. He said hope would follow when spring arrived. He said he'd take me to the new planet he discovered. He said he didn't want to be king, but also refused to let me stand by another side. He said he'd return when I miss him. He said when I become the Queen of Phylos, he'd be my knight. The song he made up is now a reality, yet thousands cheer my name. He abandons me. Dazzling fireworks fill the sky. I leave the balcony and retreat to the darkness of the throne room. At that moment, a spaceship soars across the sky like a shooting star, disappearing into the night. My footsteps echo in this empty room. No one will be by my side. My star has left me. And this time, I will not return home. I've done this before, like... I've done this myth before. It just makes me really sad. Oh, I'm such a crybaby. It just makes me really sad for Queen MC and how hard Xavier's trying. And I really freaking hate how people talk about Xavier in the sense that yes, there is a queen that he left, but it would have to take so much mental strength within yourself to leave someone you love because you are so desperately trying to find a way to fix this kind of future from happening. And I think that's so respectable and heart-wrenching. And it's so frustrating that when people are like, oh, he's, I don't know, cheating on Queen MC. Like, all MCs are MC. But, just like all the variants of the guys are still the same guy. But, I have so much respect for Xavier. I have... Oh, running through this with again was so emotional. But again, there's certain things that I feel like echo into... Obviously offering a better understanding into why Xavier behaves the way he does. But then also, there's certain aspects I really do feed into this idea of like things that they are paying allusions to, or like just certain lines that really align with things that they are incorporating into his new third myth. But we'll see how it is. Again, I did propose it could be one. I think it could be a deviation variation timeline. It could be a sequel to this in a failed state situation. It could be like, let's say, a situation where Xavier just fell asleep for 10,000 years and then he reawoke. That's why his hair's long. Everything's gone to shit because they aren't using MC as fuel for the planet. So everyone is slowly turning more and more into Wanderers because the planet's taking whatever it needs as its source to stay alive. So that's kind of where I'm at, because obviously that's reaffirmed by what actually is going on. And we already knew MC had the strength to sustain a planet and its people for an insane amount of time. And it's also something that was also reaffirmed in Abyss Walker. Zane's first base myth sits very differently, so we're not really going to touch on that. But the fact that both myths do actually have her come from the planet really speaks a lot to, again, her being this celestial body and this celestial being. And I am also curious if, like, why is Xavier the royal? You know, why is he part of the royal family? I feel like there has to be a bit more than just royals being selected. Like, there has to be some special notion about them. And also Ever and the things going on with Xavier's father, for them to be so interested in Xavier so specifically to the point of putting a suppressor on him. So, I do think that there is some extra aspect to him, especially with the sci fantasy aspects that are so heavy in his narrative. And hopefully we'll see maybe more of it explored. But we will see how that goes. Thank you for sticking around with me for going through Shooting Stars. This myth was so beautiful, and I'm really excited to now go into Lumiere because I really wanted to replay this before I did finally get into Lumiere, and now it's finally happened. All the stars aligned. Right, so thank you so much, and I will see you in the Lumiere playthrough. Bye!